So, Joan, I have a dilemma for you. This year's Portrait Artist of the Year, Morag Ka, was commissioned to paint a portrait of actor, author and comedian Sir Lenny Henry for the prestigious National Portrait Gallery. However, due to refurbishment, it doesn't open its doors until next year. So where to hold the unveiling?
Well, Sir Lenny Henry is an actor, and he's known by people who use the phrase as a national treasure. So what about the National Theatre?
Well, I'm very glad you said that, because that's where we are. Stand by for the grand unveiling of the winning commission of Portrait Artist of the Year.
Over the last 10 weeks, 63 talented artists, selected from nearly 2,000 applicants, have painted the portrait of a star-studded lineup of celebrity sitters.
Each one competing for a life-changing prize of a £10,000 commission for the permanent collection of the National Portrait Gallery. 27-year-old Morag Ka made it through the heats with her moving portrait of author Elizabeth Day.
Morag's a really exciting young artist. I love the quality of her paint application. I like the unusual nature of the sinuous line that she gives us.
In the semi-final, her remarkable portrait of singer-songwriter Rebecca Ferguson earned her a place in the final 3.
We have a regal presence here, and there's just the sense of the person, and that's what great art is about.
And it was her commissioned portrait of fiancé Genty, followed by her portrait of former Deputy Chief Medical Officer Professor Sir Jonathan Van Tam, that saw her crowned Portrait Artist of the Year 2022.
Get in there!
It just has to be Morag. This is what portrait can be. It can really be fascinating and exciting and thrilling artwork.
Morag Sitter is a national icon who during his career has made us laugh, cry and dig deep to help those in need. We follow Morag as she gets to know Sir Lenny Henry.
Hey, Morag.
Hello.
Look at you in this field. You ready to rock?
I think so.
And readies herself to work on a piece that will hang in pride of place at the National Portrait Gallery.
I'm too excited.
Too excited. Here we go.
Winning artist Morag Ka and her fiancé Genty split their time between her childhood home in Brighton and his in Albania, where she's having her first solo show.
It's taking place in Tirana, the capital of Albania, which is where I spent half my life. And it's called Looking for Peace because when I'm painting, that's one of the things that I'm going after.
Morag first entered the competition in 2020, making it through to the semi-finals and painting author Bernardine Evaristo.
You've captured a certain kind of melancholy, which is very interesting.
I was so unprepared in so many ways. I mean, everyone's nervous when they do it, but I was kind of exceptionally nervous. I knew how to paint a portrait in my own time. I didn't have much experience with painting a person in that kind of environment, which had a competitive edge. I wasn't emotionally prepared.
2 years later, she was back in the competition, but this time she made it through to be one of the final 3 artists.
Morag Ka.
When Stephen called my name, I just remember hearing all my family like scream, but it was really overwhelming. You just want to hear it be your name so much. And so when it actually happens, it's actually so intense.
When she was announced to be the winner, it was just such an overwhelming relief, as much as anything else. I've been so nervous for her. I thought she could do it. I thought she would do it, but then the other 2 had amazing paintings too, and you just don't know what people are going to go for, and it was just fabulous. This is a favourite of mine.
What's that, like the Easter hat parade?
It's the Easter hat parade. Used to love that. Morag growing up was a very creative child. She had a different view of life to my other children. I used to say she lived on a different planet to the rest of us. She was a very chaotic child, but used to find amazing things to do out of nothing. Do you remember going to see Grayson Perry thing at the National Portrait Gallery?
Yeah, that's when I first saw his work. It was good you introduced it to me.
God, yeah, you can have something in there. I'm so proud of Morag. Makes me quite upset to think about it. She's done something we've just all been dreaming about, and she in particular has been dreaming about this competition for a long time, and so, yeah, now she's got it, it's just wonderful. So, Sir Lenny Henry, we're different ages, so I guess it means maybe different things to each other, because I can remember him way back when he started out in comedy.
I think of him as someone who's just had a really varied career, which I think is really
Yes, he's done lots of things, hasn't he?
Yeah, because I like the idea of someone not just feeling that they need to stay in one area of what they do and finding other ways to kind of express themselves.
That will help you with his portrait.
Yeah, I think so.
Sir Lenny Henry first hit our screens in 1975, winning New Faces. He went on to have an illustrious career as a stand-up and comedy actor, before turning his hand to more dramatic roles, both on stage and screen. In recent years, he's become a published author and documentary maker. In 2018, he was awarded his PhD in Media Arts from Royal Holloway.
I'm so looking forward to talking to him and listening to the things he'd like to share with me. Yeah, I think he's going to be a fascinating person to paint.
But before she can begin her commission, Morag's travelled to London and the National Portrait Gallery to meet Senior Curator of Contemporary Collections, Sarah Howgate.
So welcome to the Heinz Archive and Library.
The gallery has several photographic portraits of Sir Lenny through the decades, but Morag's painting will be a first for the collection.
It's been a very long-standing ambition of the gallery to have a painted portrait of Sir Lenny Henry. He's such an interesting figure because he was a comedian in the 80s and 90s, but he's done so much more than that. He's been a great sort of advocate for diversity in broadcasting, and also, of course, he was the co-founder with Richard Curtis of Comic Relief, and he's a writer and a singer, and he's a sort of all-round Renaissance man, really. So it would be great to represent him in all those ways.
It is interesting to see these portraits during his comedy years. His warmth really comes through. That's something that I would like to capture in the portrait that I do of him. You know, this is the biggest thing that I will have ever done. I'm intimidated by the task, but I hope I can give you something really special.
I'm sure you will. I mean, I think just take it step by step, lots of studies, and try not to put yourself under pressure.
Having seen the existing portraits the gallery has of Sir Lenny, it's time to see where this portrait will hang. But there's an issue.
Thanks. So, you've never seen the National Portrait Gallery quite like this before. We closed in 2020, and we're in the middle of a major renovation project, and we're going to be reopening next year.
Very exciting, yes.
So this is going to be our wonderful new entrance here, our main entrance into the gallery, and the contemporary space. If you look, you can see straight ahead, you turn right, and that's where your painting is going to hang. So it's going to be in a very prominent place.
Oh, Sarah, honestly, it's like dream level. It's not something I ever thought would happen.
I hope that she will be able to capture something of Lenny in all his guises. I hope that she may be able to get under his skin a little, and hope that the portrait will say something about that relationship between artist and sitter.
You never think that this kind of thing is going to happen. It kind of blows my mind to think that I'm going to have a portrait hanging in there soon. It got me thinking a bit more about what a well-rounded character Lenny Henry is. I'm just looking forward to meeting him.
For the first sitting, Morag is on her way to Penzance, where Sir Lenny is busy writing. She'll have a series of these sittings with him to inform her portrait and get to know the man beyond the public persona.
Just meeting them and talking to them is important, getting a sense of who they are. But I always feel nervous when I'm about to start a portrait. I almost don't know what to do with my kind of energy, because it can't really begin until I meet them.
And as a way of getting to know each other, Sir Lenny has suggested meeting at the Capturing Beauty exhibition at the Newlyn Gallery, curated by Black Voices Cornwall.
Hiya.
Hi.
Morag, yeah?
Yes.
Lenny, should we go in?
Let's do it.
Nice to meet you. Ooh. I like a bit of art, me. I certainly collect it and like it around me. And I love art galleries too. I love this one. It's definitely a moment captured. It's not somebody looking at us. It's somebody doing something while somebody paints through a gap in the door or something.
It feels really affectionate and familiar as well.
Well, yeah, it's like, I've been in houses like that. That's like Mrs. Fearon's house on Blackacre Road in Dudley. It's like I'm going to go in her room in a minute and go, have you got any biscuits? Beautiful.
So what would you say inspires you?
I'm inspired by lots of things. Just in terms of art, you know, I love Andy Warhol and Basquiat, and I went to see the Hockney exhibition at the Royal Academy, and just the sheer weight of work that takes effort and dedication to do something
Planning,
like that.
yeah.
And planning.
To give Sir Lenny an idea of what to expect, Morag has brought along some previous work.
I've just got some images of like the last few years of the kind of portraits I've been doing.
I love those two. They love us, those two.
They're husband and wife, yeah.
They look like husband and wife, because he's kind of like this. Watching the telly, and she's having a cup of tea going, really? When the artist's here, really? That's beautiful.
Thank you. They're a couple from New York. We did the whole thing over Zoom.
You did it on Zoom?
Yeah, it was something I started doing during the lockdown so I could carry on doing portraits.
So this is a shot defined by the parameters of a computer screen?
Yeah. This is Genty, my fiancé. I always see him like this at home watching football, so...
How long have you been going out with him?
Like 8 years.
8 years?
8 years, yeah.
No ring yet? Wow.
We're getting married in July.
No way.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Is that him too?
That's him as well, yeah.
I see. I like the marks that denote that he's wearing jeans. I like that. And I think this is very much up my street, this. I really love it. I collect graphic novels, and with the best artists, there's a real sense of graphic representation that is unique. I do think there's a real connection between your sense of representation and those guys, so I love it. I mean, you could do with the Batmobile in the back of shot sometimes to liven it up a bit, or Superman landing on an asteroid, but you know, it's good.
I will, I'll bear that in mind.
Okay. Very excited. The reason I like Morag's art is because it's crisp and clear, and there's a really strong use of light and colour in that. And I think she understands that stuff about what light does to a black person's skin. So I kind of like that too.
Portrait Artist of the Year, Morag Ka is in Penzance, meeting Sir Lenny Henry to begin work on her commission for the National Portrait Gallery.
Ooh, what a great room. In the last 40-something years, I've had lots of pictures taken, and I've sat for portraits a couple of times. It's a kind of exercise in Zen, really. You have to be quite calm and quite happy in your space and let them get on with it. It's a lovely thing to be remembered, and I think it's going to be there till the end of time. So that's great. Do you want me to look directly at you or just past you, or what would you prefer?
I don't usually do a kind of direct
Oh, you like it when I'm watching the telly or something?
Yeah.
Then I just focus on that point over there.
Yeah.
For her first sitting, Morag is producing oil line drawings to help understand the contours of her subject.
This reminds me of, I did an August Wilson play called King Hedley II, and there were moments in the play where we had to perform these monologues, and Nadia Fall, the director, just chose us to choose a spot above the audience and really focus on that spot as we spoke. And they'd play this kind of ee noise, which isn't annoying at all, underneath you as you spoke. But it really, just focusing on one position and telling a story, it was incredibly powerful. But from working with Northern Broadsides with Barry Rutter, I did several weeks at West Yorkshire Playhouse. Then I did a tour for 7 weeks. And then I was in London for 10 weeks. And it literally was like being in acting boot camp. The best kind of training, which was in front of the audience.
You need the audience there.
It's good to have the audience there.
To exercise that.
Well, the missing link in the rehearsal process is the audience. There was one great moment when Barry invited some of the people that were members of West Yorkshire Playhouse. And there were quite a lot of old dears with sandwiches and cups of tea and flasks and stuff came to watch the first half of the play. It was really funny because there was a lot of ooh and oh, I wouldn't trust him. There was a lot of that going on. But it was really enjoyable and lovely to see their faces reacting because you rehearse and you rehearse and rehearse. And then you get so stuck in the process of it, of the rehearsal and the learning your lines. And then the minute you walk in front of the audience, you go, oh, it's for this. And that's a wonderful moment. Is there a click moment in a painting when you think, I've got this?
Yeah, there are moments like that, but then it always blows my mind how quickly it disappears. It's quite sad when you're halfway through and it's feeling great and then you ruin it.
Yeah, I guess it's knowing when to stop, isn't it? Knowing when to let go.
Sure, yeah. Do you have any kind of expectations of the piece?
Having seen some of your work, I think that if it's a reflection of your approach and your attitude and the way you see things, then I'll be happy with that. It's not a photograph, is it? You're not taking a Polaroid. This is ideas about me over time. So I kind of accept that. Because people would expect a certain thing. There were lots of pictures of me online and they were all of me with my mouth open, sort of giving the double thumbs up to the camera whilst having a custard pie shoved in my face. And although that was part of my life, it's not really part of my life anymore.
It was a time back then.
But there was a period of time when every single picture I took was me with my tongue out, kind of making a silly face at the camera. And I think as I've got older, I've wanted to do less of that.
But I think it's normal. I mean, when I look at the paintings I did when I was younger, I just want to, I really don't like them because I feel that I've changed and I've gotten older and certain things are more important to me now than they were then. I try to kind of look back at it fondly and understand why I was doing it then.
I think you're right. It's life, and you've got to grasp it and enjoy it and look back at those things when you were 20 or when you were 16 and 17 and go, wow, look at you. I wouldn't change anything. Some of it was horrible, but I wouldn't change anything.
Sure.
Because it's made me who I am now.
I'm just really trying to get a sense of you in the lines.
When you say in the lines, what do you mean?
In the shape of you, in the kind of space that you take up, in kind of shape of your shoulders and your whole posture, the clothes that you wear, just all the aspects of you, I feel that's where all the kind of information is for me. But it's hard to know how it really feels until a bit later on. Like right now, I'm not sure how much of you is kind of coming into this. It feels like research, basically, at this stage.
That's all right. Research is good.
I feel like I haven't got the shape of your head right, which is kind of upsetting me.
It's not oblong, is it?
But no, it's like vaguely the shape of your head, but it's just...
But you'll do photographs and stuff like that. And
Yeah. Cool, thanks.
Happy?
Yes.
Am I allowed to look?
Yeah, sure. Should I show it to you now?
Let's have a look.
Okay.
Oh. Well, I can see that.
Yeah, a little bit. I feel like I maybe got more of your body than I did, like, the profile of your face.
That feels like me.
Thank you.
The kind of initial sketches are very impressionistic, so there's a sense of a shape occupying a space on a page. And there was a bit that she did with my eyebrows where I thought, oh, I recognise that. So I'm really excited. I kind of think, oh, possibilities are endless here.
It was quite intense, actually. Like, he was giving me a lot to work with. I'm not sure if I was actually expecting that. But that in itself tells me a lot about his character. So I think we're gonna have like a really interesting portrait to work with.
After her first sitting with Sir Lenny, Morag is back in her studio, otherwise known as her childhood bedroom, to reflect on what she's learned about him and create more detailed studies that will inform her final work.
When I'm working, I kind of do this thing where if I see the colour, I just go and get that colour down straight away before my mind moves on to something else. I mean, it starts to look a bit like jumbled, but then after a while, it suddenly becomes the hands or it becomes the person. And I really like the way that happens. I'm not really sure how it works, it just does, which is great. I think what struck me the most about our setting was the kind of softness that he relaxed into. That's what kind of touched me the most. But I've also got this image of him, the public figure. So it's sort of, which one is it gonna be?
With her second sitting tomorrow, Morag's meeting up with an old friend. He might be able to help her deal with the scale of the task in hand. He's 2020's Portrait Artist of the Year, Curtis Holder.
Hello. Winner, how are you?
His winner's portrait of dancer and choreographer Carlos Acosta was commissioned by the Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery.
I knew it.
No, you did not. Thank you.
So, how's it been?
I haven't been able to process like any of it. Like any of it. It doesn't feel real.
I totally understand that.
The biggest challenge, I think, has just been staying calm. But I've been just staying so calm that I think I've actually just totally detached myself from like all of my actual feelings.
This is a very unusual and unique situation.
Yeah.
But to produce work, you need to be present.
You kind of need to be with yourself.
You need to be present. And you become better at doing it.
Yeah.
Because it's what the work needs.
I think what I want to do in the portrait is just kind of what I do with anyone and just get the sense of their wholeness. It's just like an emotional reading of that person.
Yeah, it is an emotional thing. I know that there are some artists that are able to just get on with the job, and it's about their own relationship to the work that they're creating. But I think for you and I, it always seems like it's a real collaborative relationship, and one that has to feel right in order for the work to be
What it can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, like an exchange.
Yeah.
When that connection is there, you kind of know that the work's going to go further.
just be yourself, trust yourself, and enjoy yourself. You know, what else?
Thanks, Curtis. I feel so much better after talking to Curtis just because it's just really reassuring to hear that he basically felt exactly the same way that I'm feeling now, which is overwhelmed. But I definitely feel ready for this next sitting. I know what I need to get from it, and I'm growing the energy to begin the portrait.
Portrait Artist of the Year, Morag Ka is travelling to the Hay Literary Festival for the second sitting of her National Portrait Gallery commission of Sir Lenny Henry. Sir Lenny is at the festival in another of his many guises, best-selling author. He's here to talk about his children's book, The Boy with Wings, with fellow author Nathan Bryan.
Give a real warm Hay Festival welcome to Sir Lenny Henry.
Being part of the audience gives Morag a chance to take a step back from a conventional sitting and observe her subject in a more detached manner.
I want to start with what inspired you to write this incredible story.
Dudley Library was great. I read everything I could get my hands on, and that was me and books for life. I was Lenny, the kid that read.
Yeah.
It's really useful, actually, for me to see him in this environment, seeing him in action in a way. It builds my understanding of him as an author and as a writer. Anything that I kind of experience about that person, it all goes into the portrait.
I felt like I had all these stories in me and I wanted to get them out. That's what I wanted to do. But all of the books I read that I mentioned just now, there was never anybody in those books that looked like me. And so there wasn't any black kids in these books. So I just thought, wouldn't it be cool to have a character of colour.
He's in front of an audience, but he's not sitting for a portrait kind of thing. So it's another kind of insight for me. It's another angle to come at it.
I was bullied every day for kind of several terms until I learnt about jokes.
Yeah.
This kid pushed me over every day, and eventually I said, you must really like me because you keep rolling around on the playground floor with me.
Oh!
And then some people laughed, and then I said, why don't we go to your mum and dad and we can pick out a ring? All of these people laughed, and I went, oh, hey, that's a thing. And I thought humour is a sword and a shield.
Yeah, absolutely right. So, can we give Lenny Henry a huge round of applause? Well done.
Thank you very much.
For the second part of their session, Morag wants to explore the shape Sir Lenny's body naturally makes when relaxed. She sets up her easel in a quiet field just beside the busy festival.
In this sitting, I'd like to make loads of sketches in different colours and just sort of use the time almost like a live drawing class.
Hey, Morag.
Hello.
Look at you in this field. Hey. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you here.
You ready to rock?
I think so.
Shall I sit down?
Please, yeah.
Okay. Ugh.
Great.
How have you been since I last saw you?
Yeah, good, good. I've been taking it easy.
You've been taking it easy?
Yeah.
Really? No painting, no sketching, just chilling?
Yeah, kind of. Just really preserving
just thinking.
Forces. Yeah, what have you been up to recently?
What am I up to? I'm writing a thing about my mom coming to Britain in 1957, and it's a 6-part drama series, and keep my fingers crossed for that. And I've been also working on the follow-up to the book I did last year. We're just doing the proofing bit now, where you kind of go through it and go, ooh, you sure you want to do that? So we're doing that, and little tweaks and twinges and stuff.
How do you find the looking back on things and reworking things?
I mean, you have to go through a period where you stop going, my work is done, because people keep telling you that your work is not done, and perhaps you need to do a bit more work, Len. So I've had to really think about that, really get over the thing of just doing things once and expecting it to be great.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've realised is that writing is rewriting. You've got to keep writing and fiddling with it until it's the best it can be, and then you've got to let it go. Is it the same for you?
I actually find reworking paintings really difficult. I've had to do a bit of work on that too.
Yeah, it's a thing to get over, especially if you're a novice. I'm a novice at the writing, so the my work is done thing doesn't work. So these are good lessons to learn, though. In my 40s, I did my Open University. I did a BA Honours in English Literature because my mum always used to say, you must get a education, have something to fall back on. It took me 7 years. And it was such a great feeling to graduate. Then I had a year off and did an MA in screenwriting.
You got the bug.
I got the bug, yeah.
Studying.
And then I did 2 years of that, and then I had a year off, and then I started a PhD, which took 7.5 years, whilst doing all this other stuff.
I mean, that's what I can't comprehend, is doing it alongside of so many other
But it's
things.
only what people do, you know. My mum had 4 or 5 jobs.
Right.
And she was putting food on the table for us and clothes on our back. It's what you have to do. You know, this was an indulgence for me to do my education, but it also meant something to me. I think it's why I wanted to attempt a one-man show, you know. I'm doing a play for the Bush Theatre in London. It's about the Windrush scandal, and it's a one-person play where this poor guy who's a victim of it, he's telling us the story of how desperate it is. Could have happened to my mum, my dad, my uncle, any of these people in my family who came over here on dual passports could have had this happen to them. And so I wanted to express that. And interestingly, some of it's funny, some of it's sad, some of it's moving. And what I've realised is that that's kind of who I am.
I definitely feel like I got a lot out of this sitting. I feel like we are forming a bit of a connection, which is just really nice. I think now, from today's sitting, there's going to be like an element of familiarity in the portrait. that is more present in portraits of people that I know better, like my family or my friends. So that's really exciting. That's really amazing, actually. You're a great sitter. You sit really nicely.
Oh, thank you very much. That's a nice compliment, thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
We done?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, good. It's been nice being in the sunshine.
Yeah.
I think it's very similar to writing something. I mean, it feels to me like there's sketches, there's ideas, there's characterizations, there's thoughts. It's interesting. I kind of like it, and I'm learning from it too. It's not just a one-way street, this. I'm kind of getting ideas about what creativity looks like and feels like. And it obviously involves hours and hours and hours of sketches and thinking, and that's good.
Before leaving the festival, Morag gets a chance to visit the newly restored Hay Castle, who are hosting a series of works from the National Portrait Gallery's collection.
I saw this painting as soon as I came in, and it just really caught me. I really love that it's a painting on paper. I just really appreciate that he has nothing in the background. The colours look like they've been put on quickly, and the outline and the posture and the kind of shape of the person seem to be the elements of the piece. And I really like the size of it as well. It's kind of making me feel like maybe I can do portraits on that scale. The kind of emotion of it is hitting me, thinking that I'm going to have a portrait amongst all of these works. It's making me feel excited about my portrait.
For their final sitting together, Sir Lenny has invited Morag to a local hotel close to his home in Berkshire. All previous winners have used their sittings to create study portraits. Morag plans to break with tradition and start the actual painting today.
For me, having the person actually there and painting them from life, it's just really important. It does something different to the work. I think you feel a bit more nervous when there's someone actually there, and that makes you take it more seriously. Some kind of energy transfers into the piece and it feels more alive.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm here again.
Good
Nice to see you, Morag.
You too.
You ready for this?
I'm actually feeling quite nervous.
Oh, okay.
Because we're about to do the real thing. Yeah.
When you're at home, where do you paint? Where do you set up your easel and stuff?
At the moment, I haven't got a studio because I'm kind of half between Albania and half here. So I'll be finishing this in my mum's house upstairs in my old bedroom.
Oh.
Which...
Has she kept it the same?
No, it's really different.
Do you speak Albanian?
A little bit.
Can you say some words now?
What do you want me to say?
Say, Lenny, get ready, because we're about to start the big thing now.
Haida, Lenny. Lenny, no, okay, this is, all the Albanians are going to be watching and thinking...
Yeah, they are. This program is watched mainly by Albanians.
Oh, God, yeah.
So we're going to be in real trouble. They're going to be at home going, what does she say? What about, I'd like a pint of beer, please?
Dua një bira.
Ah, you know that. You students. So we need to start this.
I'm going to start just by doing a really quick study, just of your face, and then I'm actually going to get into the real thing, the real deal.
Okay. Which is your favourite bit, the outlining or the actual portrait itself?
I actually think of the line being the portrait and actually being the person, and then I actually kind of think of the rest of it as like additional details.
Like it creates a boundary of where you want to be.
Yeah. It sets the place and the person, if they're going to be there or not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I asked you, you must meet a lot of people who grew up with comic relief and Red Nose Day and everything. I mean, when I went to school, I always remember wearing that red nose, which really actually hurt quite a lot.
Driving my nose.
But it was quite a distinct memory.
Yeah, we started in 1988, I think.
88.
When were you born?
94.
Thanks, Morag, for that. I feel really old now. Actually, the British public have been so brilliant in supporting Comic Relief and Red Nose Day. It's been a privilege, really, to be involved with Comic Relief, and I hope it continues long after I'm gone.
Cool. I think I've kind of calmed my nerves a little bit and warmed up.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm going to start the actual thing now, I think, because...
I think it's good to be nervous.
I think so, too. True.
The big piece of paper.
The scary big bit
The
of paper.
scary big piece of paper. So I'm going to just be Zen now.
Okay.
Zen Len.
Everything's kind of building up to that moment when you're actually going to start the painting. And it's such an important piece. And I really care about the sitter. The things that I'm seeing in them emotionally, they really kind of come to the surface. It even makes me feel emotional thinking about it because I was feeling so much affection for Lenny when I was painting his portrait. And I hope when he sees the portrait that he's going to see that and kind of feel that.
She's so lovely. She's such a nice person that she's easy to sit for. I was in another world. It was like a long meditation. I had a wallet in my pocket. There's nothing in it, but I had a wallet in my pocket and I could feel my bum cheek slightly going numb. I could see her in a really focused bit. I thought, if I get this wallet out of my pocket now, she's going to be mad at me, but I've got to get it out because it's killing my arse.
I hope that when people see the portrait of Lenny, they will be able to just see and feel what I saw and felt. And it's just that resting, being kind of presence. It's like a softer side of him. I think we're good there.
You good?
I think so, yeah.
Woo! Wow. That's the longest I've sat still since I was at school, asleep, during history.
If that's the case, you did really well.
It's been really nice meeting you and talking to you and stuff and watching you work.
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much.
Take
and I look
care.
forward to seeing it.
Morag will now have 3 weeks to complete her commission.
I can see like a few directions of where it could go, but the chances are it's not actually going to be any of those directions. It's going to be something that's going to surprise me.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm really looking forward to seeing the finished thing.
The day of the grand unveiling of Morag Ka's portrait of Sir Lenny Henry is finally here. Although the work was commissioned by the National Portrait Gallery, it can't be unveiled there as it's still under refurbishment. Instead, the artwork is currently under wraps at the National Theatre. For Morag, it's the culmination of a long-held dream.
Definitely feel full of nerves, but it's a different kind of nervousness because all the work has been done. I definitely had some issues and struggles with this portrait. It wasn't the easiest portrait I've ever done, but I managed to get through it. I feel good about the painting.
Morag has this amazing style. She uses a very brittle line on which to build her portraits. And you'd think that wouldn't work, but it's full of sensitivity. And it's that marriage of this rather sort of rough line and the sensitivity she finds through it that is so startling about her work.
Today is the first time Sir Lenny will see the portrait and Morag's representation of the man she has come to know.
I think what I would like is if it was truthful. What I'm hoping for is that she's seen me. And I think that'll be the making of the painting. How are you?
Good.
Nice to see you.
Really good to see you.
How's it gone?
Good, yeah.
Is it all right?
Yeah, I think so. I hope you like it.
She's such a lovely person. I just want it to be great. So I'm full of anticipation and aspiration, but for her. My aspiration is that you like it.
This portrait of Sir Lenny Henry is going to be seen by hundreds of thousands of people at the National Portrait Gallery, and Sir Lenny Henry is such an important figure in contemporary life.
I'm excited to see any new work by Morag. I mean, I just love this person's art. I think she's such creative talent. And I'm excited to see her step up and take her place. This is a big commission. You know, it gives me goosebumps just thinking about this being such a big moment for Morag.
I hope that Lenny can feel himself in the portrait, and I hope he can see himself in it too.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this incredibly exciting occasion. The unveiling...
I'm too excited.
We're too excited. The unveiling of Lenny's portrait by Morag. How are you feeling?
There's a really good vibe. There's butterflies, but they're good butterflies.
Good butterflies. Have you got any idea what's waiting for you behind this curtain?
I really hope it's not Ainsley Harriott. I mean, lots of people have said, we don't know whether you can sit still for 3 hours, and I prove them wrong. I can, as long as...
As this blur is going to attest to.
But we've had a really nice, lovely time, actually, so I hope it's what Morag wanted.
How are you feeling, Morag? Apprehensive?
Suddenly, yeah. A little nervous now.
I think we should get on with it and share it with the world, don't you?
I think so.
Let's not put off the moment any longer. Shall we? Try
Ready?
not to tip the whole thing over. Yep, ready, here we go.
Wow.
First thoughts, Lenny?
Oh, that's kind of him, isn't it? Look at that. Wow. It's beautiful. I'm really shocked. I think it's great.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
Because when you have a photograph taken, it's kind of, we are, as performers, want to perform for the photograph. But what happens when you're sitting for a portrait is that all of that falls off you in chunks, and it's just you in the end. And I think this is an unexpected evocation of who I am, and I'm really glad that it's this and not this. You know, I mean, there's been a lot of that. It feels like it's an adult summation of who I am, and I'm really chuffed.
Sorry. It is an emotional release. I was so much more nervous than I thought I was. Like, my heart was beating so fast. I felt like I was going to fall over. But I could not have asked for a better reaction. Seemed to be moved by it.
So how much?
You know what she's caught? There's an incredible stillness. And, you know, we all know you for all your movement and the changing of the face and that sort of animation. But she's caught you so beautifully and thought in that way.
I'm really chuffed. I really think that that's a proper representation of who I am now. I know people love that old stuff, but I love what's to come. And what's great about this picture is it's more about me now and the future than it is about the past. But Morag's an interesting person to sit for. It felt like something. It felt like a spiritual thing.
I think that the blue in the beard is just heaven. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely extraordinary. The colour and the texture is wonderful, and I think it's going to be an incredible addition to the National Portrait Gallery.
To walk in and see my daughter's work up there, such a stunning portrait, amongst all those other famous works of art which I've seen over the years before. I mean, I still can't quite believe it.
It's really soulful and beautiful.
I love that. Makes me happy.
I really love it.
It's so fresh, it's so startling. This punches you in the gut. There's very little there. It's about that interplay between empty space, about that sort of brittle line, but absolutely truthful and absolutely about what it's like to be human. And I think that is a miracle, really, to be able to do that with so little.
She's really, really pushing the envelope of what's possible with portraiture. She's a great artist first, and she happens to make exceptional portraits.
So are you relieved that it's over? I'm so relieved. Thank God. Thank God it's over. It's been weeks.
I really loved the painting because actually what it captured was the fact that it's Len and not Lenny. So that's the person that I see at home. He's very quiet and quite still. She captured his essence perfectly.
My sister just said, that's you when you're being you. And that's the highest compliment ever, really.
I'm definitely enjoying this moment. Yeah, this whole day has just been amazing. And the fact that it's going to go into the National Portrait Gallery is just, yeah, I can't believe it. I'm so lucky. I really am. And I'm getting married in a week. It's a busy time for good things. I feel lucky.